is rap culture toxic, or are we all just toxic in it?
Cool. So obviously, I'm a rapper. I'm an artist. Yeah. Initially, I used to do like sort of rap that was like real life, real pain, and obviously, what you go through is what you normally rap about. So obviously, I was going through pain at the time, all road stuff. So I was rapping more negative. So in that aspect, that's toxic, right? Cool. But obviously, as my life's changed now, I've made the transition. The way I rap now is different. So I rap more positive now. So that is that cool toxic? I wouldn't say that. So I kind of feel that it's where you're going and where you at with life, sort of thing.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think it depends. The artist is toxic. Therefore, their music would then be toxic. I don't think you can separate the music and the artist if you don't want to start a conversation. No.
It's an interesting thing. I'd love to have a whole conversation on that, to be honest with you. Personally, I think everyone has a bit of toxicness inside of them, I guess. Especially if you're of a certain age, I say from like 18 to, 30s plus, etc. Everyone just has a bit of toxic in them. However, I think the question should be more or less the portrayal of the music. So, for example, that music there, he's just telling what he's gone through, I guess, for the most part. Don't ever get it twisted. A lot of rappers chat a lot of crap as well and, add stuff in for...
Stephanie doesn't like that type of music. She hates that type of music.
I'm with her on
Those are
that.
words that came out of your mouth.
Yeah, I wouldn't say hate it. That hate's a strong
It's not
word.
for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
That
not
sort
for
of
you.
music, nah.
Yeah,
It's not for you.
I don't
innit?
listen
Like,
to it no more.
yeah,
It's not for me. Innit?
I think, like back in the day, when you're listening to certain other type of music, depending on your experience and your life situations, if that makes sense. So, for example, Gigs Talking the Hardest was always played during certain times, do you know what I'm trying to say? And then there's other times where, like, the older you get, you're maybe listening to more mellow, just depending on your experience or where you're at right now in life, if that makes sense. So suffice to say, obviously, she may not listen to that kind of music because it depends on what music does to you. Some people, music affects them to the point where they actually have to listen to certain type of music. So, for example, if you're trapping, you're going to listen to K-Coke or Pot of Paper, etc. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Trying to get you motivated.
But, that's assuming that I
Yeah.
don't listen to those people. I listen to Pot of Paper. I can listen to K-Coke. I can listen to K-Trap. I can listen to all these Joe artists. But that particular song I will not listen to because at the end of the day, he's degrading women. I'm a woman. So why would I listen to that?
Can I say something to you? In what we heard anyway, the little snippet, I can't say for the whole of the song, but just for that snippet, I believe he's talking about his experiences and girls using him. So he's saying, you know what, fuck it, we can use each other, which I don't necessarily agree with personally. I think if you can see a girl using you, just leave that girl alone and stay away from. However, I understand his perspective from what he's talking about. So I don't necessarily believe that it's just a bad thing, but he's just telling his experience. And at the same time, depending on who you are, I'm listening to that and I'm like, I already know that, but other people may listen to it and be like, all right, cool, I'm watching out for them girls who, from the club. Because we all been there, we've gone to the club and
he just saying it how it is,
we got
man.
tables and that, and from afar you got the certain girls trying to get your attention just to come to the table, you get me?
You're saying it how it is, but bro, it's how you put it. So, cool. The way you're doing it, yeah, all you're going to do is influence these youths to think the same, really, innit? So
he said as soon as he goes to jail, everyone leaves him.
Let him finish.
Everyone leaves him.
He said as soon as he goes to jail, all them models leaves him. Bro, that's some truth there, bro. He's telling you.
No, there's always going to be truth in it. But what I'm trying to say to you is how you word it. I'm an artist, innit, yeah? So I write down lyrics, yeah? But, bro, it's how you word it, innit? It's how you want it out, innit? It's how you want it perceived, innit? So the way I do music, I don't want it to be perceived in a negative light, innit? I'll push it so it's a positive light, innit? There's a positive twist to it, innit? Regardless of I've done negative, there's always going to be a positive twist to it, innit?
But he's a certain type of artist and he does certain kind of music, if that makes sense.
No, he is, obviously.
We can't penalise him for the kind of music that he does and what he knows.
It's not doing that. It's not
I
doing
just
that.
feel like he's just saying it how it is, innit?
That's through his lens, do you know what I mean?
But then you can say that if someone's racist, then they can call black people niggers on a track.
What does that have to do
No,
with
it's not different.
Please
It's
break
not
it down.
different. It's not different.
I want to see the correlation.
It's not different. Whether it's your experience or not, it's still disrespectful, regardless.
Can I see the correlation?
And like Ruemel was saying,
what
it's
part
the way
was disrespectful? Just out of curiosity.
What? I don't need to. I'm not gonna ask them to play the song again because I don't want to hear it. I don't need to.
What specific part
go
was
on Google and look up the
disrespectful to
lyrics
you?
and see what's disrespectful.
I only
What
listened to
I'm
30
saying-
seconds, so I'm only talking about the 30 seconds I listened to.
The question wasn't about his music, was it? The question was a generalization of music.
Is the rap music toxic, or is the general public toxic, right?
Okay, so it
but
wasn't-
obviously
it wasn't
she's
about that
yeah, but she's speaking
specific
specifically to that track. So now I'm asking, what specifics to that track did you have a problem with, from the 30 seconds that we heard? Okay, so in that case, I
I
honestly
don't need to tell you specifics. The whole song is problematic. The whole song is a song
I
that I
haven't
would
heard
not
the
listen
whole
to in
song.
my own time.
I respect
So-
it. I respect it. I haven't heard the whole song. I've only heard 30 seconds, and from the 30 seconds I've heard, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with it personally. However, if I hear the whole track, my perspective may change.
How much is music influencing our culture and our community, innit?
A lot. Music influences a lot. Like, listen, at the end of the day, when you listen to music and the stuff they say when you're young, it's like, boom, it's like you're taking in what they say, innit? You know what I'm saying? It's like, when you're young, it's like you don't picture it as like entertainment, innit? It's like, whatever I'm seeing is what my man's living, innit? Like, yeah, it influences a lot. Like, but at the end of the day, the artist has got to make it out, innit? That's how they see it, innit? They got to make a #1 hit, move their families out. You get me? There's more to it, innit? Like, there's more to it, innit? But yeah, it does, man.
Music definitely does influence a lot, and obviously growing up, obviously like I said, I was involved with the roads, whatever. So I was listening to more negative sounds, more negative music, and the sort of music that I was listening to was making you want to ride out and do demonic things,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
do things of the devil. I'm a Christian. I come from a Christian background, so that's why I use that phrase of the devil. Yeah, so music definitely does influence you, and even me as an artist now, how I'm trying to put out music is positive. So I'm trying to bring love back. It sounds bad, but that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on. Shit.
All right. Like back then, yeah, like our time, yeah. What was the biggest hit back then? Like in school, on everyone's phones.
You got Talking the Hardest. You had Chip.
How did it influence you, innit?
Hold on, wait. Let me say.
I just want to know, innit?
You had like Chip, Who Are You? Yeah. You had Pain Is the Essence. What else? They had a few different tunes in it. How did it influence me? Let's talk about gigs Talking the Hardest. Bro, it's just like when it's time, when you want to get hype, you listen to Talking the Hardest, you know what I'm trying to say? You know, when you're in a certain mood or whatever, maybe you listen to Pain Is the Essence in it. But, you know,
Yeah.
growing up to music is crazy. So when you ask that question, I want to take a colourful kind of approach with it. So I want to take a cultural approach, to be specific, and say black culture in general is full of music from when you're young. You hear your parents playing music, or you go to church, you hear music. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Everywhere around us, we're all surrounded by music, innit? Yeah? Now the popular culture is rap culture. Do you get it? That's the pop music now. When you're hearing Capital One Extras, it's rap culture. You're hearing everyone. Do you know what I mean? So it influences and affects us all. However, everyone has their own personal perspectives. Like, she loves Mary J. Blige, you know what I mean? And you know, I love Mary J. Blige as well, you know, but there's other things that, you know, affect people differently. And yeah, music is just subjective, man. It depends on what music does to you. Some people listen to it for the music, some people listen to it for the beats. It just depends on what it does to you. But yeah. Can I ask you what music did to you and what music you was listening to?
Nah, I mainly like the beats still. Yeah, when I started.
Because you was a producer before.
Yeah, like I like the beat side of things, innit? So, yeah, man. When I hear the beats, I'm like, how did they do that kind of thing? But obviously, the lyrics, it does influence you, man, to go out and do a mad thing. Like, it does.
I want to say I don't think so.
It does, bro.
Do you know what? Because I heard Talking the Hardest, it didn't necessarily make me want to go and do something. The only
but
reason I
think
put
about-
Talking the Hardest on was because I was a mist or on the way and already made that thought or conscious thought to potentially go and do something. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah,
there
but
was
it does influence people in a way, like to
No
feel
doubt.
that you're that kind of person.
100%.
100%
Like if you're shotting back in the day, you listen to Joe Black, you know the ones there, you listen like to all these other people.
But it motivates you to do that even more,
Absolutely.
innit?
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah,
100%,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Listen to Uncle Murder and that.
That's a whole
You know what
different
I'm saying? It makes you feel like you want to be like my man, innit?
That's a different
Yeah.
thing still.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And at the same time, that's what Drew is doing, innit? Like I like it that it's like putting youngers on and changing their lives and shit, but bruv, it's fucking up the youth.
It's crazy. I
It's
can't
demonic,
listen to
man.
drill, you know.
It's demonic, but yeah, carry on.
I wouldn't even go as far as to say it's demonic here, but it's
I would.
people's life perspective.
I would
I
still.
respect it because you're a Christian, so I respect it.
Yeah.
But it's their perspective and what they see.
No. Everyone has their own perspectives
On it.
That's the way it is. Right? I can't penalize yours. You can't. You know what I'm saying that everyone has their own
To
perspectives.
categorize it as demonic. I
No,
think
but
But it's an art.
that's being.
it's an art form. Do you know
It's
what I mean?
art,
They're not
innit?
saying like, let's talk about Lil Nas, for example, in the
Oh, let's
recent
not even-
video.
Ah,
that he
don't
had.
even go there.
Now,
That's
that
just
we
long.
can say is demonic. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Stephanie's.
What about Stephanie?
No, just
Oh,
review
whoa,
next,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah, no. What about Stephanie?
Not to give a review next, innit? We said our piece.
I was listening,
Oh, okay.
My little Nas, isn't it?
but I didn't understand why my name was brought up after talking about Lil Nas.
Yeah, like what's your
I don't know. I think they want to give your views.
I saw what was going on, but I don't really have an opinion on it because I just don't care. If I'm honest,
Which is real. If you don't care.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
I hear that. I think. Do you know what? To not care, yeah, is a problem in itself to a degree, and it shows, not you personally, but it shows where society's mind is at. I guess. For me, I'm seeing that video and I'm like, rah, this is crazy. Like, this is how far we've gone.
What are you talking about? His music video?
This music video, that what was it called? The Devil, Satan, whatever it was. And I'm like, rah. I get artistry. I understand artistry. However, we have to be careful with the connotation that we put on artistry and how far we push the boat, if that makes sense, especially depending on who you're catering to. But then on the flip side, we can say that WAP video and Cardi B, for example, wouldn't let her daughter listen to it. So what are we actually saying? Do you know what I mean? There's two sides to every coin.
But I feel like people choose what they have a problem with.
Absolutely.
Like, you can be in upheaval about what's his name, Lil Nas X, with this devil video, but what about all the rappers that are paedophiles? What about all the rappers that talk about
Absolutely.
being with like women against their will? What about all the rappers that
This is
talk
all
about
demonic things.
like degrading women? Like, we could have been having upheaval about those things, and that's been going on since hip hop and rap started.
We'll talk. Well, I think hip hop is, well, essentially the starting off of hip hop goes back to what America, if I'm not mistaken, in New York,
100%.
with like Kumo D and all them people there, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it's just a representation of the world in general. Hence why it's popular culture. You got so much effed up people in this industry, and at the same time you got so much effed up people in life in general. It's bound to mesh and mix together. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't even call them effed up. I would say misogyny is a culture and it's embedded in hip hop.
Absolutely.
It's not effed up people. It's men in general. Do you know what I mean? It's like we can
Meaning.
we can individualize people and say no, wait, let me finish. We can individualize people and say this person's effed up. But at the end of the day, how many people are effed up? It's too many to say this person's effed up, this person's effed up. It's a
Absolutely.
culture.
Absolutely.
And everyone influences each other. No one holds anyone accountable, which allows the behaviour to continue and allows the fuckery to continue.
So what's the solution, number one? And number two, what do we say about
I
people
don't
like...
answer those questions. Men love to
But
ask
this
those
is the thing,
questions.
right?
What's the solutions? I don't have a solution to the problems of the world. So you cannot ask me that question.
I respect that. I would say that I'm quite solution-based as it is personally.
A lot of men are.
Yeah. I'm quite solution-based personally, in general. And for me, in any kind of situation, I try to find a positive solution to it. And I agree with you, actually. There is a lot of misogyny historically and currently, within the culture and industry as it is as a whole. As you got the R. Kelly and all of that. Then you got some other stuff like the Dutchavelli situation, with, paedophilia, etc. You got what's his name, Octavian. You got so many situations and issues where it's like, yo, clearly it's rampant. Clearly it's just mad. Yeah, it's mad. But it just goes to show that actually people personally are just sick or mad.
No, I
Do you know
don't
what I mean?
agree. You cannot say people personally are sick. The names that you called out are names that we know of.
Yes.
There are people that are rapping about this that we don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. When I talk about culture,
Absolutely.
I'm not just talking about physical violence.
Yeah.
You can incite violence without being physical.
Absolutely,
It's all in
mental,
the
yeah.
words, your behavior, what you spew on the internet.
Yeah.
That's all part of the culture. You don't just have to be named and shamed and put
can I ask you
in
a question?
handcuffs to be part of a problem.
Absolutely. So can I ask you a question? Music let's say let's say certain music out there, let's say 50 Cent in the club, yeah? Do you listen to that? Or have you listened to that?
I've probably heard it, but I won't.
Have you listened to Candy
search
Shop?
it on. I've probably heard it. Yeah, I won't
Okay.
search it.
So
and
I'm pretty
listen
sure
to it.
9 times out of 10, you're gonna see some sort of music by certain people in your phone, right? Am I right in saying that? Or are we just saying you've cleansed your whole phone of any kind of
What?
secular
So
music?
what are you asking me? You're
Have
asking
you-
me if I listen to certain music by certain.
I'm
types of
saying it's
people.
rich for us to say on one hand that, you know, everyone is sick out here in some sort of sense, which I
But you're the only person that's saying that. You're the only person that's saying everyone's sick.
Let me finish.
I'm saying that I wouldn't name it that. I'm saying it's part of a cult. It's a culture.
So you're saying the culture's sick?
I'm not saying anyone's sick. You're saying
Alright,
people are
cool.
sick.
So-
I'm saying that
so what's wrong with
there's
the
a
culture?
that breeds a lot of behavior that doesn't
Agreed.
hold people accountable.
We're agreeing.
But I'm not saying anyone's sick.
Right,
Those,
we're
those are your
agreeing. No, we're
words.
agreeing. But I'm saying, in some sense, in certain instances, we may be. Are we helping the culture by listening to still some of the music that people do that may be toxic as well?
I'm
just saying, for example, I don't know that you're listening to. I don't know that you're listening to certain music that may be toxic. So that's why I'm asking.
If you can hear my stance on this topic, I definitely don't go out of my way to put money in anyone's pockets that I think is problematic. That's just me
Absolutely.
personally.
Yeah.
I don't know about anyone else.
Absolutely.
So
No,
I hope
I
that
hear
answers
you.
your question.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
If you go back in time and change history, what would you change and why? Innit?
Yeah, I would say just focus more, man. When I was younger, man, just more focus, man. Because that's once you have that, there's no way going back, man. But yeah, focus, 100.
What was the question again?
So if you go back in time and change history, what would you change and why?
I wouldn't change anything because everything happens for a reason.
So all this spirit about the culture, you wouldn't change nothing.
I wouldn't change anything. I stand by my answer. Everything happens for a reason.
No, but I feel like as we grow up, we always have that thought of where, like, I wish I could change that kind of thing, innit? You always have that doubt, innit? I'm sure, like, you have that in your mind.
I don't because
You don't?
I believe of a power outside myself. I don't believe that I can control my life. So I surrender everything to whatever that power is. So how can I then say
You don't believe you
I
have
want
control of your
you?
life.
Huh?
You don't believe you have control of your life.
There's certain aspects of my life I have control over, 100%.
I hear what she's saying with God.
Yeah.
and it's just-
No, when she breaks it down like that, yeah.
Fair enough.
But I don't. If we all collectively said that we would like to change history, I don't think we'd all be sitting here right now. That's what I mean.
All right, fair enough.